everybody. Okay, I think it's gone live. I do not have a video camera for a few more weeks. The video camera I have is actually my brother's, and I have been borrowing it. But, you want to say hi?
Hi.
Okay, finish your pomegranates. And then get the ones off the floor, Johnny. So, I have some books that that I finished in February that I was going to share just this way so I can kind of put them away where they need to go instead of having this huge stack that we are constantly tripping over. And I've got stacks everywhere. So I'm just going to kind of jump in and share with you some of the books that we've been reading and what we thought of them. So we finished our Gone Away Lake read aloud, and I have to admit, like, when I was first getting it started, I know what it was. I enjoyed it as a kid, but not everybody really enjoyed it as we first got started. John, Mommy's got to do something right now, so go eat your pomegranates, okay? We'll show later, okay? If you step on that, it's going to unplug, okay? Go sit down. This is why I... moving on. So when I first started reading it, no, the kids didn't like it. However, as we got along, they were asking me to read more. And then when we finished it, I picked up Bambi, which is another book that I had chosen to read this year. But I had kids constantly bringing me the second book to do that. This is what they really wanted to read. Now, we actually have not read it. I have read it. I did this as a kid. This was actually my favorite. I would reread this one much more as a kid than I did this one. This one, I guess, brought out my inner Chip and Johanna Gaines. So that's one that we're going to kind of go back to. What happened was we ended up, like I said, I picked up Bambi to read. Or here we go. It's going to be backwards, I think. I don't know what you see. But I picked up Bambi to read, and like we are really, really, really struggling through it. We're on chapter 10, so about halfway through, and I'm just kind of done. But I know that, especially with classics, like the first half is boring, but it's so full of like forest life. I mean, in one chapter, there's two leaves talking to each other, how they're going to die and who's going to be first and what the changing of the seasons is like. And then this leaf falls and dies. And we were just like, okay, a little poetic. So if that's your type of thing, that I'm not sure what to call it, you might enjoy this. It's also very anti-hunting or animal rights type of thing. They talk about the man, and I think it's man. The man, him. They talk about him, man. It's never used as man. He, him, the pronouns, and it's the hunter. And at one point you do get to, you do get to experience, I will be careful with that word, somebody dying. But it's honestly just full of what the forest is like, and we're bored to tears. So after the kids kept groaning every time I picked this up, and to be honest, my husband and I were like, okay, we'll do this, we'll get through this. It's like, you know what? No, we're not enjoying this at all. So I picked up Owls in the Family by Farley Mowat, and this has a lot of fantastic recommendations. And so I was like, okay, well, we'll just do this one. It's very short. This is my bookmark. This is how I do things. It's very short. That's not going to tell you anything. There you go. And it's about a boy in Canada who loves to collect animals. So he has a ton, and the laptop, by the way, is sitting on my knees. So if you're all shaking, I'm sorry. I shake too. Boy in Canada, he's got gophers and mice or rats and a cat, dog, critters. He's got critters. And he wants owls, which the dad's like, no more. And then he's like, wait a minute, the owls are going to eat the gophers and all these other stuff. Yeah, go ahead, find an owl and get an owl. And you kind of get to see how they find the owl, kind of go out into these woods and really experience it. And so that's really interesting. I think what grabs us most about this book is that it kind of takes place in, I cannot, literally, the kids laugh at me trying to read this book because I can say Saskatchewan, which is where my husband was born in Canada. But I can't say the town that they're in without stuttering. But it's like it's like Saskatchewan. Ugh. Anyway, I can't say that. It's like Saskatoon. So it takes place in Saskatoon. It's really fun to read. It's a tongue twister. Saskatoon. Sacagawea. I don't know. So it takes place in there. And I think that's what's kind of really cool for us is that it's like, this is where Daddy was born. Now, Daddy didn't really get to stay there very long. They were in vicarage, which meant that as soon as the place came available for my father-in-law to pastor, they moved down here to where we are now. So he didn't grow up in Canada, but he was born in Canada. So stuff like this is always fun. So far, we are really loving it. And the kids keep asking for more chapters. Definitely not asking as much for this one as they want to just read the second one. Or maybe it's just because my 6-year-old is more vocal about it. But yes, we are definitely loving this. Is it the world's best book ever written? Well, it's such a short little thing that you're really not going to get a whole lot from this book before it's the end. But definitely lots of fun, adventure, boy book for sure. The girls are kind of like, can we move on? But I'm really enjoying it. Okay, so another book. Got stacks everywhere, y'all. Another book that I finished reading was Under the Blood Red Sun by Graham Salisbury. And this is about a Japanese American boy that lives in Hawaii. His parents and yes, Alice in the Family, we really enjoyed. I'm trying not to look at comments right now, guys, just so I can get through this. I do have to work today with house cleaning, so I'm just trying to get this done as briefly and swiftly as I can, but still sharing with you. Anyway, going back to this. His parents and grandfather are from Japan. His grandfather is a just loyalist to Japan. He's a little crazy, and the boy Tommy is very kind of almost embarrassed by him. The grandfather's a hoot. Like I was just laughing so hard over what the grandfather's antics were, and basically this happens maybe days or weeks before Pearl Harbor, and you kind of get to see the area in which Tommy lives in so much as what his relationship is like with some of the other people. His mom is a housekeeper. So they're on a land with a house on it that belongs to another person that's kind of rich. And the boy of that mansion house that his mom works for is a bully. He's not very nice at all. And he really makes things rough for Tommy. And sometimes I want to even say it borderlines, not sure where I was going with that. See, this is why lives are hard. I could edit that out. But the bully just makes things really difficult, and he's a bully. I mean, it's going to be some hard topics that maybe younger ones shouldn't be. My son, who is 10, going to be 11, really enjoying this, but he's read things like he inhaled all of the Sherlock Holmes books, so he's read more mature content, and he's been friends with people that have dealt with bullies. But the 6-year-old, like, it would be a really hard read aloud for him, who's also a sensitive soul. So there you go. I need a drink. Hold on. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so you get to see all the stuff that Tommy's a part of. Tommy's dad he does something with boats. I don't know if he's a fisherman or if he like takes cargo to different of the islands, because the Hawaiian Islands are made up of a bunch of little islands. And where was I going? Yeah, that's what his dad does. His mom is the housekeeper. The grandfather's a little cuckoo. And then Tommy, is just a young teenage boy with bullies, but he has friends, and they take care of pigeons. So then Pearl Harbor happens, and of course there's always this, okay, are you the one that betrayed us kind of thing. And his dad gets taken prisoner. Now his grandfather, because he's so cuckoo, sees these Japanese airplanes coming over, not putting together that they're bombing, goes out into the field or whatever it is, waving his Japanese flag, kind of waving to all these Japanese that are bombing Pearl Harbor. So now Tommy's got to kind of save the family and kind of keep everything hush hush. So there's a lot of, the Japanese American stigma is not really the right word, but a lot of that because of what happened with Pearl Harbor. Yeah, John. Can you pick the book up, John? That's going to get destroyed. Pick the book. Yeah, that. Can you pick it up? Yes, you can. Go. Go pick the book up. No, go give me the book. So yeah, it was really, really good. It won the Scott Odell Award. Like I was telling you earlier, but give it here, John. I would be careful about giving it to younger ones, but I think it was a really good World War II, different perspective kind of thing. So really enjoyed that one. Yes, I said I would tighten this. Okay. Real life, y'all. You want to say hi? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Hi.
Here you are.
Tornado.
Okay, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Go watch the tornado. Ben and Stephen are watching tornadoes. Watching a documentary. So the title of this one is Under the Blood Red Sun by Graham Salisbury. I have a blog post that I am working on with all the links and things that I remember that, this might be a problem. One of the things in here is that the American soldiers come and they see these carrier pigeons, even though they're pets, they make the grandfather and Tommy kill them all. So that might be some hard content, and that's what I'm putting in that blog post. Hi, Becca. How are you? I'm sharing, because I don't have a camera, I'm sharing all the books, children's books that I read this month, insofar as possible. Because I have like bites of memory in here. One of the other books that I did get finished this month, I was just focusing on children's books, but I did get this one read, Pam Barnhill, Better Together. And there is a collaboration going on with this book, but I'm not going to be able to film or do anything. But Bites of Memory, who's over in the chats, I don't know where it is on your screen. She did, yes, that is Peaches. Is that good? That needs to be eaten at the table, John, or we'll get all over the carpet. So that needs to be eaten at the table. And why don't we wait till Mom's done, okay? Thank you. All right. Yeah, moving on. Can't remember. So a couple of the books that I did read this month. Rosemary Wells, Mary on Horseback, 3 Mountain Stories. This tells the story of a woman who was a World War I nurse or became a nurse or something to that effect. And it's so short. Like, this is 53 pages. And it tells her story through the perspective of 3 different people. It tells it from a young boy that watches Mary Beckenridge save Mary Breckenridge saved the boy's father's leg after it was shattered. So he rides the rapids on these logs to take him down. and he gets stuck or trapped or something and shatters his leg. And so I don't remember if the leg is amputated. So these are going to be like harsh stories. So that's something to remember. I got this from my daughter who wants to be a doctor or nurse or something. She wants to do something with that. And they were really interesting. I read this very quickly, obviously, and I wanted to know more. So it tells it from his perspective. It tells it from a nurse that joined Mary Breckinridge in the Appalachian Mountains in Kentucky. It reads so much like Christie. If any of you have read Christie, it just, that whole backwards, superstitious type of thing fit it, but it was more on a child's level, whereas Christie kind of has some adult things in there that maybe you don't want them to read, but it still gives it that that feel, especially for the younger years. So so you hit it from the boys' perspective, Mary, and then a young girl who watches her mother die. Let's not put that over here. Go put that away. It's not a microphone, dear. That's not a microphone. Can you go get that to Emma? She'll know where to put it. It's not a microphone. Nope. Far from it, dear. Can you go give that to Euphemia?
No, microphone. The microphone.
Yeah, go give it to Euphemia.
The microphone.
A young girl that watches her mother die after giving birth to twins. So the dad takes the young girl and the twins to Mary, who's ended up in a wheelchair from a fall, and basically says, teach this girl. She's going to need to know about taking care of the twins. And basically this young girl, I think, ends up going to be the nurse. So it's nurse. So again, really short, very fun. I think this one is in Book Shark. It might be in Sunlight, but I think it's in one of those programs. So I saw that, picked it up, wanted to read it. I want to know more. I want to know more about this gal. So that was really good. Another one I read was Mountain Born by Elizabeth Yates. Elizabeth Yates wrote Amos Fortune Freeman, which is another big Newbery winner, used a lot in like American history type of reads. This book just captured my heart and stole me and took me, and I loved it. It tells the story of Peter the goat boy. No, not Peter the sheep boy. On his little farm with his father, they raise sheep. They have a it's not a grandfather, but they have another man there. Yes, that's exactly what that's for. Boogers. Thank you. I'm going to put it up here.
I need more.
You need more boogers out? Go get a piece of tissue. Did I mention live can't edit?
Not that?
No, go get tissue.
No. Not yet.
No. Did you want to say hi again?
No.
Yeah, I think you do.
Hi.
Is that you?
Yeah.
These are people over here.
Oh.
Oh my gosh, I've been talking for 18 minutes. Okay. This is the stuff that you can't edit out. This is why I film and edit. Oh. You okay? Where was I, folks? I have no idea. Squirrel. And we're shaking so much. Here, you want to sit with me? Okay, tell me if somebody talks. They're right there, okay? The other young man that I'm going to flip off unintentionally. This man here, whose name is Ben. Somebody talked. Say hi, somebody.
Yeah.
This is Mrs. Lindsay and Mrs. Rebecca.
Rebecca.
You want to say hi, Miss Lindsay? Hi, Miss Rebecca?
Hi, Miss Lindsay and Rebecca.
The old man here is your typical guy that is going to teach Peter a lot of life and Peter. A lot about life. It basically, when I finished this book with tears streaming down my face. She right there. She says, "Melt my heart."
Hi, Peter.
Peter's over here. Do you want to hold up the book for me? Perfect. Oh, you read the book. Fantastic. Even better. It read like a shepherd's look at Psalm 23.
Peter.
I thought it just had that whole, each lesson that Peter had to learn had a story of Christ and just a deeper meaning. And so I really, really liked it. I can't wait to read that to the kids. That was a fantastic book. 5 stars. That one, I literally finished it, wanted to pick it up and just read it all over again. Any questions on that book? Because I was so distracted. I have no idea if I even told you mainly what the book was about. So, we are currently reading for school Carry On, Mr. Bowditch, which I think I'm going to be the last person in the world ever to have read that, especially in the homeschool committee. Bowditch. Especially in the homeschool community. John, can you go get me the book? It's Mountain Born by Elizabeth Yates. Very informed on how sheep work with the farming and like cutting off the tails. Even my mother-in-law, who's 70 plus years, like she didn't know that they cut the sheep's tails off, which she was a teacher, so I would have thought. Anyway, bless her heart. Yes, I think it's in. It is in. I don't honestly. I am literally just looking for winners, and Carry On, Mr. Bowditch. Sorry, this is Mountain Born. I think it's in Book Shark, or Sunlight. It's in one of them. It's live, so unedited. Just remember. It's in one of those, but I've been trying to collect all the Newbery stuff and kind of read them and go through them. Some of those winners, you're just like, how did this win? But Carry On, Mr. Bowditch, yes. Do you like Carry On, Mr. Bowditch? What is your favorite part about it? Everything.
Except for the people dying.
Except for the people dying, yes. A lot of people die in that. Everybody seems to be dying. But Carry On, Mr. Bowditch has a definite living book feel. You get to see Nat, somebody or another, Bowditch, be really, really smart at math and use that to kind of bring in some of his father's trade. He was I'm hearing kids in the other room and I'm tuning into that and not into what I'm trying to say. You get to see Nat bring in his love of math, arithmetic, and everything, but also kind of bring in a little bit of his father's heritage with being a seafaring man. So he had a long line of people that were at sea, but of course, sea meant the possible dying. Yeah. And I really liked how they put both of them together. And then with Nat, like it is a educational book showing how navigation works, how the sailors work and everything. And but I'm not bored to tears. Some of the books out there, I think it's somebody O'Brien, who did Patrick O'Brien that did Master and Commander. Some of those, when they're trying to describe stuff, is extremely boring and goes right over my head. This one is fantastic. The way that Nat is using notebooks to write down everything he's learning, like a little piece of me is like, kids, don't you realize this is what I'm telling you to do? Why don't you do it? This cool kid is doing it and you love him. Write stuff down in your notebook. books. But I'm just trying to keep hush hush about that and just see if it'll stick with them. You want to say hi, Katie? So we're doing that in the afternoon. I am doing My Side of the Mountain with another student, and they are really inhaling that one. So far, I haven't run across any language, anything with that. I think Carry On, Mr. Bowditch does have. I remember switching a couple words, so there might be a couple words in that. But honestly, it's been really, really good. So that's pretty much the books that I have to share with you. I am trying to go through all of my Gloria Wellen books. I really loved, Blair. I really loved the Homeless Bird. And we had another one about a girl and a little Native American. Lego's getting dumped. That was like one of those early chapter readers. That was really good. I'm going to have to end this. So anyway, just sharing with you, those are the books that I read. We're not getting into Bambi, but everything else that we've really read, we've really enjoyed. So that's going to be it for February's wrap up, except for a whole video dedicating to this book. But like I said, if you click, I think there's like 3 dots next to a name. You can check out Lindsay from Bites of Memory. She did a review on it. I see Becca in here, Becca Glass. She does a really good Charlotte Mason for boys. I'm just gleaning a lot from that. I think Charlotte Mason tends to be very big with or popular with girls because it has to do with books and readings and such. And Becca is really doing a great job kind of showing it from a manly boy perspective. So I'm really enjoying that, or I really enjoy her videos. And kids stopped screaming, so that's cool. But we've been talking for almost 30 minutes. I've got to get ready for work. Yeah. So those are the books we read. We enjoyed them. I'll try to leave everything linked down below that I can remember to for those that are catching this later on. No, I'm sorry, guys. There is one other book that we read, I read, and then I gave it to my boy to do, and that's A Lion to Guard Us by Clyde somebody Beulah. That one's really good. It has to do with coming into the colonies, the new colonies, and this is from a London or England's perspective. It's the eldest daughter. I think her name is Amanda, and she's got two younger siblings. The mom dies working in this rich lady's house, and after a sailor tells Amanda, I think it's Amanda, he tells Amanda that the father is fine, he's safe, he saw him, he got the message to him. Amanda decides to basically figure out a way to get to America or the new colonies and get reunited with their dad. So there's some things that happen, and there's some people that are amazing that step up and become that father figure to them. Even though it's told mainly through like Amanda's perspective, my son said that he is really enjoying it, and I think he should be almost done with it by now. And it was really good. I really enjoyed it. And almost anything by, I think, is it Clyde Robert Beulah? Yes, Becca. Yes. That it was really good. Can you write who the author is? I think it's Clyde Robert Beulah, who did Sword in the Tree. He did Pocahontas and the Strangers. He did Squanto, Friend of the Pilgrims. I was looking him up last night, and he did some other ones that I would love to read about. Yes. Okay. So that's the author. If anybody wants to go look that up, this book was called, and I don't have a way to hold it up, but A Lion to Guard Us. And like I said, I'm trying to get this blog post done. It's been crazy, so I don't know when it'll get up. But it'll have everything there and anything that I could find that might have been objectionable or anything. But yeah, Clyde Robert Beulah. Oh, he did the Chalk Box Kid. that we did last year. Loved that one. So that was the other one that I read of the children's books, and try to get that done. I showed you that I was trying to go through all of my Gloria Wellen to kind of basically have a dedicated post video just for her books. Some of the other books, can you bring me that stack over there?
Okay.
Yeah, that one. Way over there. Took you 4 steps to get to it. I'm so sorry.
2, 3, 4.
Some of the other books that I'm trying to read and weed through. Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. Judy Blume. My mom would not let me read Judy Blume books, so we'll see now that I'm old enough to pick it up and read it. We'll see how that goes. Family Under the Bridge happens in Paris, France. Yeah, happens in Paris.
This is mine.
I'm still reading it. Secret of the Andes. I actually assigned this to my son last year, and I have it as grade 3. So it was Newberry. Trying to go through Newberry. That's just another book that I'm reading. Has nothing to do with children. Again, on my honor, Newberry. Shooting at Kabul. Oh, I'm in the middle of this one. This one's really good. It has to do with 9/11 and getting to this. So he's from Afghanistan. They finally make it to America. 9/11 happens, and it's kind of all that perspective. And I think it's based on the author's husband during the first Bush Afghanistan war. But I think it's based on that. So working through that one. That one's been really good so far. Rabbit Hill, Robert Lawson. All Alone by Claire Hutchin Bishop. There is a Viking Adventure. Yes, I have that one too. We haven't read it because I got it after we finished Vikings. But it's definitely going to be read next year because, like I said, I love everything by him so far. All Alone by Claire Hutchin Bishop. I saw another book that she did, and I was like, oh, I have All Alone. And I really, I can't remember what that one was, but I really like this author, but I haven't read this one or the other one. Anyway, moving on. And then Miss Hickory by Carolyn Sherwin Bailey. This one kind of makes me a little nervous. I already did that one. So these are what I'm trying to get through, read, and reviewed for you. Basically, like I said earlier, just kind of going through the children's shelves, weeding. I got rid of a huge white box of books because I was like, yeah, no, we can do without these. All the Roald Dahl that we used to have, I think, with the exception of Boy going solo, and one other one that I recently found that I was like, what? He wrote another one? They're all gone. I'm done with Roald Dahl. And I thought, oh, it's a children's book, and he did Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. This has to be great, right? No, you have BFG. So
That one was good, though.
So, but other than that, I am done with Roald Dahl. And pretty much after that, after being like, okay, this is, considered great books, it should be fine. I've been kind of like going through a lot of the books and reading and weeding. Caroline Neil Gaiman, I think, is the author. Picking that up, and I was like, oh my gosh, you guys do not need to be reading this. And that one went. There was just a lot of okay, I did not read Fantastic Mr. Fox. Becca, I think it was The Moving Finger. I think it's the one that I read, and I was just appalled, and I was done. And there was I think Fantastic Mr. Fox and something about a turtle that I wasn't sure, and I almost left, but at that point I was just terrified, to be honest, to leave anything of his left on the shelves. So yeah, I was done. There was can you go check on John?
Yeah.
Thank you. I haven't heard anything. There's another book I have, and to be honest, I can't tell you what the title was, but I was picking up and reading it, and it's a love story between two kids, and I was like, what? That one went. Is he all right?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
It's awesome.
So just, and these are critically acclaimed books that, I took a chance and was like, okay, everybody loves it. Everybody within my circle, even of like homeschoolers and stuff, love these books. And I was just like, I need to go through these and kind of read and weed. So that's literally what I've been doing. I don't have any like adult books to share with you probably for the next couple of months, because this is my project. And then the whole scope of the idea is to create like 100 books that everybody can read, and it's just to give parents kind of a confident list to take to the library, to the bookstore, whatever, and just pick up books to read. I don't want to just pull like the books of Carry On, Mr. Bowditch, because not everybody kid's going to be into that. The kids that have grown up on Roald Dahl, if you go from that to Carry On, Mr. Bowditch, that's such a drastic flip and switch that most of the time the kids are not going to like that book. And so what was that list worth at that point? So the idea is to kind of create a transitional list. So that's where I am. It's been a journey. All right, I'm going to get off of here now that I've been on for 36 minutes. Anne of Green Gables is amazing. And Lindsay, don't feel bad. I had a sister that read through that series, all 8 books, several times. I felt like I did not need to read it because she would tell me all about it. This is also the sister that loved Elsie Dinsmore, and I couldn't stand it at all. Exclamation point. So I was like, I don't want anything to do with Anne. Love the movies, which, by the way, for those of you that don't know, the movies, the Megan Follows, they pretty much combine the first 3 or 4 books into that first movies. And Anne of Avonlea, which is the second movie, they, I think, combined some of the next books with that. So little tidbit for you there. I learned that in reading Anne of Green Gables for the first time ever. And I've kind of gotten to this ritual now where I only read a book every October. I did it for 2 years, and finally after that, I was like, yeah, we'll just do it that way. So, can't edit that out. Oh well. That's me. This is why I have the editing feature on my videos. You don't get to see the real me or the silly me. You get to see the real me. Moving on. Okay. Thank you for... Becca, stop talking. Just looking. I'll start a cycle all over again. Yeah.
You just made me yawn.
Stop! It's the weather. It's the weather. It's the weather. I don't know what it's like for you guys. We're in sunny California where the weather has been a little crazy, and we're dropping degrees again. So I think our bodies are just like, I don't know how to process this. All right. I keep saying I'm gonna go. And if we're gonna have to just do this, snow? Dude, send the snow to our town, not to our area, to our town. Because it literally snows all around us. We have our town like this. So we've got hills around us, and then it just dips, and here's our town. So it's been a good lesson for the kids to show why we never get snow, but everybody around us will. I mean, literally, we can drive 10 minutes and be covered in snow, but our town will not get any, and that's why, because we're in the dip. And it's a great science experiment, but we don't get snow. It's been Steven's 10. It's been 9 years since the last time we had snow, and it was melted the next day because that's the desert for you. Okay, girls, it's coming down like crazy, but not against the school. We're canceled. We're homeschooled. What's a snow day? All right, y'all, thanks for the chit chat. I am literally going to pick the mouse up and end the stream. Thank you so much for joining me. Hope those books gave you some ideas for other things to read if we're ever in a pinch and need more books to read, right? Yeah. Filled up my Amazon cart this morning after watching a couple videos of book hauls. Talk to you later. Bye. Yes, I'm sure. I want to end.